Ladies and gentlemen, it's here. It is finally here. The first round of the playoffs, and I needed this, man. I needed playoff basketball so badly. I'm so happy it starts tomorrow. I'm ready to give my picks and predictions for each and every series. Going to go quickly. Not going to spend too much time here. I don't want to be here for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, right? Rambling on and on. I just want to get directly to the point, okay? Just remember, I'm just a regular guy when it comes to this type of stuff. I'm not an expert. I just watch a ton of basketball. Admittedly, probably more than you. But at the end of the day, I'm just a regular guy who, again, watches more basketball than you do. But just a normal guy making predictions here. So let's just get into it. Let's just go over these series. Let's start with the Mavs and the Jazz. And Luka Doncic is confirmed out for Game 1, and it does not sound promising for Game 2. So I lost. It's a little bit embarrassing considering some of the things I said yesterday. Inside information does Colin Cowherd know? What inside information does Woj know? What inside information does Shams know at this point that the local reporters don't know? But, Luka's out. Does this change the way I feel about this series? Admittedly, it does. I'm not going to lie to you guys. You thought you could get rid of me that easy. You thought a small calf strain was going to end my delusion. No. My delusion grows stronger. Mavs in 6. And that's me being generous. Jalen Brunson masterclass. Incoming. Spencer Dinwiddie masterclass. Approaching. Dorian Finney-Smith masterclass. Right around the corner. Donovan Mitchell disaster class. 6 o'clock. Jordan Clarkson disaster class. Heads up. Mavs in 6. And if you're one of these Mavs fans, Westby, Luka's not playing. Oh, the Mavs don't stand a chance. Man, I need you to get your head out of the gutter. It's the playoffs. Wake up. Start acting like it. Oh, slightly. Luka's out. Mavs are going to get swept. Shut up, bitch. That was probably a little bit too far. Listen, do I have any X and O reasons? Do I have any strategy? Do I have anything circled where I'm like, okay, Mavs need to do this, and they'll win the series? No. Why am I picking the Mavs? Because I'm a Mavs fan. That's it. I'm slightly biased. It is what it is, man. And hey, that's okay. It's the playoffs. You need to support your team. You need to root for your team. It's okay to be delusional, man. This is the tournament. You win 16 games and you're a champion. I'm picking the Mavs in 6, and if Luka only misses 2 games, all you need Brunson and Dinwiddie to do is win 1. Just win one of those 2 games. Luka's out, and all of a sudden it's a best-of-5 series with Luka Doncic coming back. Yeah, give me the Mavs easily. Give me the Mavs easily in that scenario. I'm taking the Mavs in 6. I'm feeling pretty confident about it, man. I just am. I spoke more about this series yesterday on the video I posted yesterday. If you guys want to go check that out, it goes into a little bit more detail. But I want to get into the other series here, so I'm not talking too long. Let's just get to the 1-8 series, okay? Mavs in 6. Let's just get to the 1-8 6 games, maybe 5. Let's just get to the 1-8 series. The Phoenix Suns, whoever they play, Suns in 4, man. I don't know. Do I need to really go into it? The Suns are an absolute buzzsaw. An absolute buzzsaw. It doesn't sound like Kawhi is coming back at all. Paul George is in health and safety protocol, so who knows if they even win. Pelicans, they're just too young of a team, and I don't know if Zion's coming back at all. Either way, man, the Suns are just too good. You know, my hot take this postseason is the Suns only lose 4 games the entire time in the second round when the Mavs sweep them. No, but seriously, I think the Suns are going to win the championship, and I really think they might only lose 4 or 5 games the whole postseason. They are that good. Anything short of a championship for the Suns is a complete and total failure. I think they're the only team in the league that has that stance. So I got the Suns in 4, regardless of who they play. The Eastern Conference 1-8 will probably be a little bit more competitive, but I'm starting to think people are sleeping on the Heat a little bit, and I'm guilty of it. I've slept on the Heat too, but their defense is just so good, man. Bam Adebayo, you guys know how I feel about him. He's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year, it seems like. You got to, Martin has been so big for them. The wing defense he has provided has been huge. It's so huge for them. The Heat always do this, just bring in guys and then turn them into, great contributing winning players. PJ Tucker's been great. And offensively, it can get a little bit ugly sometimes, but they have great shooters. Great shooters who can catch fire at any given moment. And Tyler Hero is a walking bucket. We know that. Jimmy Butler can still get his. I think if they play the Hawks, I could see that series going 6 just because Trae Young is him. Like, you guys know I love Trae Young, what he brings to the table. I think offensively he's good enough to win 2 games by himself. So I think the Heat would beat the Hawks in 6. And the Cavs in 5. That's just a tough matchup for a young Cavs team. But either way, I have the Heat winning round 1. If it were the Nets, it would have been a little bit more interesting. And speaking of the Nets, let's get into the 2-7 matchups. You know what? Let's start in the West because the Nets one is a little bit more important. The Timberwolves and the Grizzlies. I feel like people are sleeping on this series. This is a fun series, and it sort of breaks what we know about playoff basketball, right? Playoff basketball, this grinded out, slow-paced games. Isolation scores going to work, defenders going to work. And these two teams, they don't do that. They run. They run, they push the pace, and they're going to score a lot of points. So this is going to be a fun series to watch. And I think the Timberwolves have the offensive firepower to keep up with Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Jesus, I just had a stroke, I think, and the Grizzlies. And, Anthony Edwards, his first postseason performance, his first postseason test, he stepped up to the plate, man. He was phenomenal in that game against the Clippers. D'Angelo Russell, what he did, how he controlled the game in the second and third quarter was incredibly impressive from D'Lo. And I know Cat had a bad game, but I don't expect a full series of that from Karl Anthony Towns. I know everyone's getting their jokes off. And Patrick Beverley, man, he's been so huge for them. His veteran leadership, his presence, just the energy he brings. This series is going to be so much fun, man. Both of these teams talk a ton of shit. Both of these teams are young and energetic. This series is going to be a ton of fun. But at the end of the day, in the playoffs, it's going to come down to getting stops. And do I trust the Timberwolves team to get stops? No, I really don't. Do I trust the Grizzlies? Yes, because the Grizzlies legitimately have a great defense to go along with their great offense. Really is a championship formula, if I'm just being honest with you. But I'm picking the Grizzlies in the series in 6. And I think it's going to be fun. And if you're a Timberwolves fan and they lose the series in 6 games, you're feeling really good. You're feeling really good about what your team brought to the table this season. So that's what I got. Eastern Conference 2-7 matchup, Celtics and Nets. When the Nets won against the Cavs a few nights ago, everybody circled this series and said, "Ooh, this is a big one. This is a big one." And I did too. Then I started looking into it more. Started researching it a bit more. Looking into the matchups. I struggle to see a way the Nets can win this series, just being completely and totally honest with you, unless Kevin Durant goes absolute God mode, which is always a possibility with him. But I just look at it really has nothing to do with the Nets and more just everything to do with the Celtics, man. They are just so good. You look at all of the past champions of like the last 10 years or so, their net rating in the regular season, usually towards the very top, if not at the very top. What the Celtics have done since the start of the calendar year has been incredible, man. They're beating the shit out of teams. They are just so well balanced. Such a good team. Built for the playoffs too. Great in the half court, both offensively and defensively. You have a legitimate superstar scorer in Jason Tatum. You have a great secondary option in Jaylen Brown. And just a bunch of dudes who can defend. Defensive player of the year level player. Marcus Smart. Robert Williams. He's going to come back at some point in the series, it sounds like. And, I know Robert Williams' absence is a big deal. But people are sleeping on Al Horford, man. He has been legitimately great defensively. One of the best bigs on the perimeter defensively in the entire NBA this past season. Daniel Tice has been good defensively too. So yeah, they're going to miss Robert Williams, but they got more than enough pieces to make up for it. And for the Nets, they're just not as well balanced. Ben Simmons, it sounds like he's playing. But do I trust Steve Nash to integrate Ben Simmons into the offense? Fuck no. It's not like Ben Simmons is a catch and shoot guy like a PJ Tucker. It's like, dude, just go stand in the corner. Like I'm struggling to see how Ben Simmons is going to fit in this offense, especially if Bruce Brown's playing. Bruce Brown's like a small Ben Simmons on offense. So you have 2 Ben Simmons running around, and then Andre Drummond. What's that going to look like? But do I trust Steve Nash to play Kevin Durant for 48 minutes? Yes, and that is really their chance. But I just think the Celtics team is too good, man. I really, really do. Even without Robert Williams, I'm picking the Celtics in 5. That's aggressive, but that's just the way that I'm feeling in this series. I might be wrong, but that's just the way that I'm feeling. Let's get to the 3-6 matchups. These ones aren't as entertaining. The Bucks and the Bulls. I think this was the only matchup that the ESPN experts picked. You were all in agreement on. I think it was like 17 or 16 experts, something like that. All of them picked the Bucks to win the series. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense. We know the Bulls, right? Their struggles against top-end teams. So it wouldn't be surprising me at all to see the Bucks win this series and maybe even a sweep. But I'm going to pick them to win in 6. That's going against the grain a tiny bit. I'm seeing most people predict a sweep or in 5. But I think, one, for whatever reason, the Bucks start playoff series incredibly slowly. I don't know what the deal is there, but that's just historically how it's been since Giannis has been there. And 2, DeRozan, Zach LaVine, these guys are great offensive players, and their offensive profile really fits the postseason. I know DeRozan's had his struggles, but I think these 2 guys alone could will the Bulls to at least 2 victories. Like I have the Bucks in 6, and I don't think it'll be a competitive 6. Does that make sense? Like the 6 might be misleading. The Bulls might steal a couple games, and then the Bucks kind of dominate the other 4. That's kind of how I'm feeling. But yeah, I have the Bucks in this one. They're just really good, man. They are super good. When the big 3 plays, they're incredible. Drew Holiday might be playing the best basketball of his life, and we just know how Giannis is. In the Western Conference, 3-6, Warriors and Nuggets. Man, I feel like going into the season the past 3 years, I feel like I've always pinned the Nuggets as a dark horse championship team. It's just health for them, man. Obviously, no Jamal Murray, no Michael Porter Jr. That sucks. And because of that, you're probably not going to beat the Golden State Warriors. I'm picking the Warriors in 5 games here. I can't predict the sweep. Not with Jokic. He's just too good for a sweep to happen. But it feels like every time I watch a Nuggets game, they're just grinding it out. It feels every time I tuned in this year, they were just fighting tooth and nail until the final buzzer. And this is a Warriors team that's going to make you work, man. They're going to make life difficult on you. And I think the Nuggets I just think they're probably going to be tired by the end of it. Jokic has just put in so much effort this season, and all the role guys have had to step up and play above their pay grade and do things that, they weren't initially asked to do at the start of the season. And I think the Warriors are just going to be a little bit too much for them. I don't trust the Nuggets role players. That's really what it comes down to. If Steph Curry comes back, and if Jordan Poole continues to be the greatest player we've ever seen in our lives, if Klay Thompson's been great lately, that's just too much for the Nuggets. Although I love Jokic, he's incredible. I got the Warriors in 5. What did I say? 5. And then one more series, right? The last series. The 4-5 matchup in the East. Hey, outside of the Mavs and the Jazz, this is the series right here that I'm so excited about. I keep going back and forth on who I have winning this series, and I still don't even know. I'll give you an answer whenever I'm done rambling about it. Out of everything in the postseason, all of the different matchups, players against other players, rosters against other rosters, coaching staffs against other coaching staffs, front offices against whatever the case may be, right? The biggest mismatch, in my opinion, is the coaching discrepancy between Doc Rivers and Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse is going to coach laps around Doc Rivers. It might actually be embarrassing at certain points. You're going to start feeling a little bit bad. That's how it's going to be. Okay? Now, the question is, can the star talent, can the top-end talent on the Sixers be enough to overcome that? And it's 100% possible, right? For me, the biggest X factor in this series is Tyrese Maxey, 100%. You pretty much know what you're going to get from Joel Embiid, although the Raptors have done a great job in the past against Joel Embiid, probably better than anybody else, with just, the length that they have, and Nick Nurse always sending exotic looks at Joel Embiid and stuff like that. But if Tyrese Maxey can give you what he's given you all year, this 20-point per game scorer who shoots incredibly efficiency, 40% from 3, and he's been phenomenal 3-point shooting-wise since James Harden's come over, then I struggle to see how the Raptors will keep up offensively, right? Because Embiid's going to get his. Harden, I know he's been bad. He's a big X factor too. What are we going to get from him? But if Tyrese Maxey is clicking and Embiid is clicking, offensively, I just don't know if the Raptors are going to have enough. Pascal's been great, but Fred VanVleet's kind of cooled off a little bit towards the end of the season, and they're going to need him to be great. They're going to need Pascal to be great. They're going to need Scotty Barnes to be great. And I do think Scotty Barnes is going to be good. I really, really do. I think you're going to see Scotty Barnes answer the call for a rookie in a way that's very, very impressive. That's just how I feel Scotty. That's just who I think Scotty Barnes is as a player. And man, I don't know. This one is really, really tough. I'm honestly going to go Raptors in 7. That's just how I'm feeling. Raptors in 7. I think that coaching discrepancy is a little bit too much, man. You got Doc Rivers shitting all over Paul Reed, basketball Paul. Why? This is so weird to me. This dynamic between him and Paul Reed. And he's talking. He's like, yeah, man, Paul Reed, if the other team goes small, we'll play Paul Reed. If not, it's not the Paul Reed tour. Talking about the Raptors series, and it's dude, do you know how the Raptors play? Right? If I see DeAndre Jordan trot onto the court in game 1, if I see DeAndre Jordan at all in game 1, Raptors in 5. Raptors in 5. It's over. It's already over and done with. Doc has already sealed the Sixers' fate. If Paul Reed, though, plays and DeAndre Jordan doesn't touch the court, which he shouldn't, then Raptors have a pretty solid, the 76ers have a pretty solid chance. But either way, man, I'm really excited about this series. Woo! I'm really excited about this series. So just to recap, I have Mavs in 6. But you know what? I got the Mavs in 4. Swiffer, sweep them. This is not sponsored by Swiffer Wet Jet or whatever the fuck it's called. Unless, Swiffer, hit me up, man. Playoff basketball is back, baby. And you know where you can watch it all, right here. Live streams on this channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you guys later, okay? Go Mavs!